my goodness. And there it is. Wow, get the pin to go.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to Bowl TV for the 2021 PWBA Albany Open. We are getting ready for round number 2 from Kingpin's Alley Family Fun Center in South Glens Falls, New York. My name is Aaron Smith. I'm going to be joined by Emil Williams Jr. and Curtis Von Kruger in just a moment. We had a high-scoring first round on this 36-foot condition. We expected the scoring pace to be pretty high, and it delivered. Stephanie Johnson led the way, averaging nearly 250 for her 6-game block earlier today. She's going to be back on the lanes here in just a moment. We're actually going to kick off our competition by watching her. She's the tournament leader, so it makes sense to us with our 4 channels live currently on bowltv.com. But before we get to the end of the warm-up session, let's bring in EWJ, Emil Williams Jr., to the broadcast. And there he is, folks. Emil, what's up?
I am here. I'm ready, and I'm trying to get the cable behind me, as you can tell. I was much more swifter earlier with my put my headset cable behind my shoulder in round 1. A little bit sluggish, after that break to start round 2. But overall, man, I'm good. I'm ready to see what adjustments might be made. I already know that there might be double the amount of urethane on the rack, so be on the lookout for that. Talked to Nathan Bohr before we started practice, and he said it looks like, not everyone certainly, but a few players who maybe didn't look at urethane this morning may give it a good look here as we begin round 2. So be interesting to see how that shapes up.
And we had 2 of the players in the top 5 use urethane exclusively throughout the course of the round. Sydney Brummett sitting in 3rd place, and then Danielle McCune, who finished her day with 299, using urethane for the majority of her block. So we're going to see Danielle on this opening pair as well. So let's go to the lanes, folks. There they are. Look at it. They look great out there. Masking units. We got everything. Got
nice and waxed.
Fresh and waxed. Courtesy of Kegel.
As we would say with to Bill.
But we're going to go full screen here, folks, so you can enjoy the competition. Round 2, another 6-game block, and after this round, 12 games total for pinfall will determine the players advancing the top 32 to Saturday's competition. We'll talk more about the schedule for that, but let's go full screen here as we get ready for round 2 from the Albany Open. So taking a look at some of the players who will be joining us here to kick things off. We mentioned we're behind lanes 21 through 24 to start. On 21 and 22, we will have Danielle McCune, Daria Payuk, Janelle Irwin, and Taylor Bailey. So all of those players plus Danielle at plus 231, Taylor at plus 130, Janelle at plus 75, and Daria at plus 69. And then over on 23 and 24, our tournament leader, Stephanie Johnson. She's going to be joined by Elise Bolton and Nicole Toto. As we get underway, once again, we mentioned 4 channels available on bowltv.com. So we're covering lanes 21 through 24, 25 through 28, 29 through 32, and 33 through 36 on 4 specific channels. And then a commentary channel, that's actually what you're watching right now, available as well with myself, Emil, and Curtis throughout the course of the broadcast, special guests, and more. If you're watching on Facebook, we certainly welcome you to the show. We're glad you're checking out the top players on the PWBA Tour as they compete for the title in the 9th event of the 2021 season. We will be live on Facebook just for game number 1, though. So if you want to check out the wire-to-wire coverage of the Albany Open, head on over to bowltv.com and be sure to subscribe today. A few different price points to come in at. You can buy the event ticket, which will allow you to watch the live coverage throughout the course of the week. That's going to be $8.95. You can pick up a monthly recurring subscription for $9.95, so just $1 more. And that gives you access to the entire site. So not just the live events, but the archived events, on-demand content, and more. And then an annual subscription, the best way to support the PWBA Tour, $79.95. Transaction fees do apply with all 3 of those subscription points. And with the annual, just like the monthly, you get full access to everything available on bowltv.com. So our first look at Stephanie Johnson, kicking things off with a strike. She started with 287, had the front 10 before a pocket 710 slowed her down in game 1 of the first block earlier today. We had a chance to talk to Stephanie at the end of the block, and she said that, this wasn't necessarily the first ball she went into. This is a High Road Max that she's been using throughout the course of her 6 games. She said about a 2-inch pin on it, but she said it wasn't something she necessarily was looking at to start. And actually the practice session yesterday, wasn't going too great to kick things off. It was a little rough, and she really wasn't seeing the shapes she wanted to see out on the lane. She ended up going to this ball, and all of a sudden it was like, okay, I like what I see now, and obviously the scores have reflected it ever since. We've tried a few different balls on fill balls throughout the course of the block, but mainly stuck with this High Road Max, and it was off to the races. So we mentioned 287 in the opener. Her other games on the way to the lead and averaging 248.5, 211, 234, 279, 256, and 224. Taking a look at the rest of the standings here after round number 1, Liz Johnson in second place, the 25-time titleist, plus 241. We mentioned Sydney Brummett in the third. She's at plus 238. Danielle McCune with that 299 in the finale got to plus 231. Lauren Pate in fifth place, plus 215. Brianna Cote in sixth, plus 196. Missy Parkin and Brianna Clemmer, plus 181. Julia Bond, plus 173. And then Shannon O'Keefe at plus 163, rounding out your top 10 through the first 6 games. Of course, we mentioned the 32 number, the all-important cash line and the cut line to move on to competition tomorrow. Heading into this round, it is plus 45, which is a 207.5 average. And Alexis Nair currently holding on to that spot, the first player out. Kayla Bandy at plus 41. But with this scoring pace, we could see some big games, and potentially if a player catches a pair that's not too kind to them, could see them lose a lot of spots quickly. And we saw that with a handful of players throughout the course of round number 1, a total of 44 players averaging 200 or higher out of our 66-player field.
Yeah, Aaron, it could end up shaping up a little like it did last week, to where, it was somewhat top heavy, and there were a few players obviously, vying for the top spot, so to speak. And then I guess the difference would be when you get to 10th and 11th, 12th place, it's not as drastic of a difference as it was last week. Last week when we had, plus 280 and 70s and whatnot up top, there were some plus 10s in 9th, 10th, and 11th place. That is not the case. So still the opportunity for a lot of movement, the first 20 spots or so. But that cut number, but that's going to be, obviously the moving target throughout this evening, and a lot of players on the outside looking in. A lot of very good players as well. So we'll see.
I think that's a good point, Emil. A few of the players chasing the number at the moment. Clara Guerrero tied for 34th at plus 40. Liz Culkin, kind of the hometown favorite this week, plus 37. But the good news for Liz, she found those pins toward the end of the block, so finished with a little momentum. She just had kind of one bad game, and they're really sneak up on her. 168 in the middle of the block. Everything else 190 or above. So Ashley Galante at plus 36. Maria Belanova plus 20. Stephanie Zavala, last week's champ, at plus 8, as is Diana Z. Caitlin Johnson minus 10. And then probably the biggest surprise, Jordan Richard, minus 82. She was last week's runner-up at the BVL Open, currently in 54th place to start this round.
Yeah, I talked about her in round one this morning, and from the aspect of the practice session and her going through essentially the varying changes and things that she had to do with her hand position, try a different ball or two, whatever, to kind of find what she was looking for. And then, I didn't really get a chance to see her much this morning, but we'll be asking shortly to see, what the game plan might be for Jordan specifically. And, maybe what did not work and what's going to be different here this afternoon into the evening, or I guess it's already the evening.
Well, we did catch Jordan in game one for round one of qualifying, and she was a player who was already, opening up her angles, throwing it at the gutter versus up the gutter. So would be curious if there was a strategy change to that. I believe. Who do we mention or talk to? Was that Chuck yesterday who mentioned that, she was someone who potentially was not a big fan of urethane in general?
That is correct. Yes, that is correct. Not a fan in typically speaking. So, with the advent of a lot of players this round, more than normal, going to give urethane a try. I assume on the fresh, I already see 2 players at least. Not saying that they didn't do it this morning. I'm not sure, but Sandra Gongora's got urethane. I think Heather DeRico had a urethane ball first couple frames out. So it's definitely out there.
And folks, just a reminder, we do have live scoring available for the PWBA Albany Open, courtesy of Lane Talk. So that link is available on pwba.com, or you can visit lanetalk.com and type in Kingpin's Alley Family Fun Center to find that as well. If you're on bulltv.com and you're in the chat, first off, hello. Thank you for joining us as always. But if it's your first time visiting, you have a few different tabs available above the chat. That middle one will take you to a page on pwba.com where essentially our go-to page throughout the course of the block, where you can find the roster information, the lane pairings, the oil pattern, results, live scoring, and more.
Just a quick note about Doug Bohannon from Billy in there in the chat, and absolutely, Doug Bohannon, his staff has been excellent. Actually had a chance to talk to a lot of the staff during our break earlier. Wonderful people. Doug wears a lot of hats within the BPAA ranks, certainly in the city, in state, as well as nationally as well. So we appreciate him and all he has done and continues to do, as well as his wife and, again, his staff here. Mentioned specifically the New York director for the BPAA Board of Directors, as well as the president of the New York State Bowling Proprietors Association.
Daria kicking things off with a quick 5-bagger here. Taylor gets that one out. Leaning over the edge for a quick second. Motors back, leaves the 10. Taking a look at live scoring, there were a couple of early 4-bagger, 5-baggers out there to start game number 1. Once again, no 300s in the first round. A few opportunities, though. A couple front 8s, front 9s. Stephanie Johnson with the front 10. Danielle McEwen with the front 11. Before a 4-pin stopped her run. Liz Johnson had the front 9. 4-9 stopped her to kick off the 10th. Shannon O'Keefe looking for a front 6 right now on 19 and 20. Alicia Current front 5 on 29 and 30. And Brianna Clemmer finished 3rd place last week, front 5 on 37 and 38.
Kara Mangiola is off to a very good start, Aaron Smith. National Donut Day is doing its thing there. She's wearing it well and coming out strong here to open up game 1 here tonight. She's on PWBA 3, if you're curious.
And if you want to see that jersey, that we've mentioned it a few times throughout the course of the opening round. Caitlin actually went and got a photo of Kara's jersey, so check that out on the PWBA's social media channels at PWBA Tour on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook.com/PWBA Tour.
IG. Did you get that follower count up?
What are you talking about?
I feel like there was a tournament where Mike was helping you get some new Instagram followers.
It wasn't necessarily helping. It was just something he just went out and did.
Okay.
And it was Staria makes it the front 6. I'm going to try and change the subject here, but yes, there was a pretty nice uptick after that particular, the very first time he did it. He tried it again. That one wasn't as popular. Folks saw that I don't post anything, so they're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, this is game 1 of 6. So after this block, 12 games total, we will cut to the top 32 who will return to the lanes tomorrow. 10 a.m. Eastern once again, bowl another 6 games to determine the top 12 after 18 total games. And then one more 6-game round at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time will determine the top 4 for the stepladder finals, 6 p.m. Eastern. Dave Lamont and the Hall of Famer CDB, Carolyn Doran-Ballard, going to be on the call for that. It's going to be a great show. That 7:10 falls out late for Stephanie. Let's bring in Curtis Von Kruger, who's sidelined at Kingpin's Alley. There he is, folks. Curtis, hello. Welcome back to Bowl TV.
300 watch 2021. All right, the 300 watch is on right now. We got a couple of front 6s. Shannon O'Keefe looking to make a move, throwing the front 6 right now, and also Daria Payok, obviously throwing the front 6 as well. It looks like, as also one of my picks earlier in the week, Brianna Clemmer working on the front 7 right now. So a lot of strikes in this first game, very consistent with the beginning of last block. Players able to find a lot of friction and play right around that 5 board at the break point and jamming it in there with some urethane, lots of urethane being thrown right now. Daria is throwing urethane as well. So I want to see how that urethane breaks the lanes down and how people following those bowlers are affected as we move into the tricky part of this round, which will be the games 3 and 4, as that heavy transition really starts to hit, and how they adjust and adapt and are able to try to maintain the pocket. So we'll keep you updated. I'm going to go run down there and try not to jinx anybody. Hopefully we can get a 300 game today on Bowl TV.
All right, sounds good. Thank you for the update, Curtis, and best of luck out there.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Curtis Von Kruger swinging by, looking to put together a couple of runs at 300 here. So obviously, if we get those will be on our social media channels as well. Starting in, actually, it should be posting right now. There should be an interview with Sydney Brummett that Curtis conducted after round number 1. So be on the lookout for that on the PWBA and the USBC social media channels as we get into the heart of game 1. Once again, if you're watching on Facebook, we will be sending the stream directly to bowltv.com after game number 1. So you do have to subscribe. We have giveaways, so we got those planned throughout the rest of the week. For every round, we got something different for you, and of course during the stepladder finals to be consistent with Emil's moves.
Just a little thriller. Just a little thriller right there for you. You know,
I'm all about the thriller. I know some folks who are not, but all about the thriller.
Folks that could be wary of thriller. Yes.
But during the stepladder finals, we'll be giving away 3 bowling balls: 1 from Storm, 1 from Rotogrip, and 1 from Brunswick. And you'll have the chance to win if you subscribe to bowltv.com.
I know Curtis mentioned, obviously there's Daria, and then of course as soon as I said her name, I didn't say anything else though, so don't put that on me. But Miss Brianna Clemmer, and there was one other player, right?
Shannon O'Keefe.
Okay. What lane is Shannon?
I believe Shannon's right next to Daria, except to the left.
String looks to be about 8, if my eyes are right. That is correct.
Brianna Clemmer is up in her 8th frame at the moment, 37 and 38. And Shannon O'Keefe getting ready for frame 9. Daria did convert the spare, so a chance to shoot 276 still this game. Danielle McCune, 244 her max score. Stephanie Johnson, our tournament leader after round number 1. Max at 236, so surprisingly, it's weird to say someone shooting 236 and they're under average for the event so far, but that would be the case. Stephanie averaged 248.5 for her first 6 games. Shannon O'Keefe did not strike in frame number 9. Neither did Brianna Clemmer. So it looks like we might be off 300 watch 2021. Here for game 1 at least. Taylor Boltai has a chance to shoot 277 this game out of the gates over on 7 and 8. She's in her 10th frame. Liz Johnson, 9th and 10th to go. She can shoot 279. Valerie Bercier, 268, her max score. Alicia Current, 278 out there as well.
That's just another quality game by Stephanie Johnson, 225. Clean. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single pin conversions. While DMAC a strike away from getting into the 240s.
Well, that's pretty good. Heck, that's really good. It's like a opportunity to take a little different look here on the fill ball. Saw Stephanie do the same. .244 out of the gates. Danielle shot about 790 her last 3 games, which is pretty good.
You know,
247, 299, and 244.
Let's say she's been doing that a lot lately.
Daria after 7 in a row, back-to-back spares, 265 still out there. Get her into the plus 130s.
Michael in the chat talking about his predictions. So far, so good.
Had a question about Liz Culkin in the chat. It looks like 202 in the opener for her. Unfortunately, with an open in the 10th, looks like she had a split in frame number 10. So Looks like a plus 39 at the moment for the hometown favorite. Nice 255 out of the gates for Daria Payuk to lead the way here on lanes 21 through 24 in game one of round two of qualifying at the 2021 PWBA Albany Open, taking place at Kingpin's Alley Family Fun Center, South Glens Falls, New York. And folks, if you're watching on BullTV.com, you're already in the place to be, to hang out, have a good time, and watch the greatest competitors on earth here finish up their second round of qualifying. If you're watching on Facebook, this is our hopefully just brief farewell to you. We certainly encourage you to check out BullTV.com. Once again, we talked about a few different subscription prices to come in at to get wire-to-wire coverage here of the Albany Open, and potentially much more depending on what you like to check out. An event ticket to watch live, $8.95. A monthly recurring subscription, $9.95. And an annual recurring subscription, $79.95. Transaction fees do apply for all three. With the monthly and the annual, it does unlock the entire website. So you get full access to BullTV.com. So not just live coverage, but also archived events and on-demand content, coaching, old school videos, backstage content, and more. BullTV.com, the place to be. Set up that login, pick up a subscription, and join us. We're going to have a good time. We got stuff to give away. And we got a cut line to figure out here in just a couple of games. But we're going to take a quick break to get ready for that switch. So once again, if you're on Facebook, BullTV.com, time to head on over. Check it out if you're on BullTV.com. We'll be back in just a moment. Be ready for game two. All right, game two will be starting up shortly here on BullTV.com. PWBA Albany Open, Kingpin's Alley Family Fun Center, South Glens Falls, New York, the capital region, upstate New York. The home of this week's event. Folks, we got a lot of great sponsors here on the PWBA Tour. One of them, BowlerX.com. At BowlerX.com, you can shop the biggest brands in bowling with the largest selection, best price, and free shipping on every order. Remember, when you shop at BowlerX, you are supporting bowling. BowlerX proudly gives back to bowlers through tournament sponsorships, bowling causes, professional athletes, youth bowling, and more. BowlerX.com, for the love of bowling.
You read those reads, Aaron Smith.
It only gets tricky because I should rewrite them. You know, I should take the time to add my own stuff to make sure it flows. But the only time I get tricked up is when I should throw like to reference the company, like a they or a there, and I don't. And it's like R, and I'm like I don't want to speak on behalf and say those things for those companies because
Well, we already talked about it. Like you could be Shaq too.
no, I can't handle the Shaq. I just want to do the companies well. That is my goal from for their continued support of the PWBA tour.
I think you're doing a fine job. Roll. Right. I'm sorry, Aaron, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say we got some players making their way over here, so it looks like just about ready to start for game 2.
We do. And just a quick note on I saw Roland's question about what group was going where, and then Larry threw in the pairing sheet, which is fantastic. I'm not sure if he was referring to the Danielle grouping, but they're on PWBA 3 if you're just curious. Danielle and Daria Payo.
Amanda Najokas, Gigi Mason, Katie Bell, Shannon Pluhowski on 21 and 22. Got Jennifer Hakurasak on 23 and 24. Brianna Cote. Caitlin Johnson. And Mallory Nutting joining on 23 and 24. It's pretty cool chatting with Mallory at the end of round number 1, Mr. Williams.
Yeah, I watched her for like a good 2 to 3 games. She was in my immediate vicinity for game 1, and then I think maybe game 3 and game 6. And every time I saw her, she was making good shots, throwing good shots, and putting up some score. And as someone who is not a full timer out here, but has bowled a few events and maybe 1 or 2 a year, and has bowled other high level, I thought it would be a good opportunity to, like as I said earlier, get a fresh perspective on what she saw, what was working for her, and kind of introduce the viewers to someone else who they may or may not be familiar with. And hopefully she keeps that up, because that would mean obviously some extra bowling and a trip to the round of 32 tomorrow morning.
Mallory started this round in 13th place, plus 148 for her first 6.
Just a quick note, Aaron. I believe it's, down on 37 and 38. There may be some equipment stuck underground. So our guy Dan with the dopest bucket hat, known to man, out there trying to do his thing and help out. Left some gutter caps. So we may have a bit of a delay, potentially. Hopefully not too long, but it looks like Clara is waiting to throw her fill shot to finish that particular that particular cross is game 1. So I'll keep you posted on that.
That will ask me from saving, or save me from asking, I should say, about scores. So I appreciate that.
You're welcome. That will obviously affect our score update. And if we do have to experience an extended delay of some kind, there's probably going to be bowling for the majority of our camera channels, generally speaking. And we may hit that hiccup to where, the delayed cross will finally get to a Bowl TV channel. But I'm thinking about a question. I'm going to wait a little bit later on in the broadcast, but I had a question that I believe would be a very good conversation starter. I think it would be very good for the chat to chime in and give their opinions.
Is it about types of donuts?
It is not. It is about the players.
Oh, that's even better.
Donuts, I'm in for, top vanilla Lone John. I'm not a chocolate guy, but red velvet really is good. Donut style. To a cup of milk, man, and you got yourself a winning combination. See, where did Gigi end up after round 1?
She got to 30th. She had a very strong back half of the block. So 161, 199, 180 start, but finished 229, 227, 255 to get to plus 51. So didn't like the fresh so much, but was able to gain some pins in the back half of the block.
Was huge. She was very frustrated. Not even really, I guess, less disappointed and more frustrated about last week's performance. And then shot, 158 to miss the top 32 last week. But had battled so hard to get from round 1, which was not good. Made the adjustments, tried something completely different. It worked in round 2, and of course, ultimately ended up falling just a bit short. And so she's looking to, determined to have a much better week.
All right, everybody. Looks like we're going to have a special guest join us here on Bowl TV from the Albany Open, representing Storm as one of their ball reps this week. Mr. Matt McNeil joining us on the broadcast. There he is, folks. Matty,
What's up, guys?
Bud?
Another day in paradise.
It certainly appears so. Matt, we saw scores pretty crazy out of the gates in round number one, but when you look at the cut, it still was about a 2-0 to make the cut. We heard reports that a lot urethane was a much more players were using urethane to start this block. Tell us a little bit of what you were seeing, and for the players who were still trying to find the right look, what was kind of the message to them to kind of get out of the gate strong and put themselves in a good position to make this cut?
Well, I think starting off, I think the biggest thing is that your last name is Johnson. If your last name is Johnson, you're going to do really well here. So Liz and Steph have been bowling great. They're going up and at them. They're not using urethane, so to speak. So Steph's a little more left to right than Liz is, but Steph's used High Road Max. Liz used Phase 2 all day. For the players using urethane, generally it just depended on rev rate. We were using pitch blacks, pitch purples, and fever pitches. Those are all three of our urethane balls that we have in our catalog right now. So it kind of just depended on, as a pick your poison. If you want to go right up the lane, generally players with a little less rev rate, like Danielle McEwen was going right up the lane with a more of a shined pitch black, not as much surface on it. Sydney Brummett was a little left to her, using more rotation and a slower ball speed with the pitch black. Verity Crowley was using a fast pitch, a little left of that, using a little more rev rate and rotation, and she was using a fast pitch. So, it's really just kind of a pick your poison. What way do you want to attack it? For those kind of outside the number, I think the big thing we're trying to help them see is how much angle they need to use through the front part of the lane, and then making the transitional window as long as possible. Generally using very slow transitioning balls with the pin underneath the fingers that really delays, that slows down that transition time and cuts down the flare, because we only have 36 feet. So that's something that we're really looking for. So we're just trying to get that message to those players. And, second ball focus is really, really important. I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of missed makeables out there, just with the length of the pattern, with how much friction is out there. It's kind of thrown a wrench in bowlers' spare game. So, that's a very, very big factor, especially when you look at 30-second number, like you talked about, Aaron, only being a 2-0 average. So that's I guess, in a nutshell, that's what I got for you, buddy.
Matt, talk a little bit about what it's like week to week as a rep, trying to get players to see certain pictures and trying to get them, obviously, to help them as best as possible to make cuts and ultimately win titles. I think, from the viewer perspective, they know you're out here, they see you, and we get a chance to speak with you, and you tell us what you see. But what's that week to week like for you as a rep, and how difficult, honestly, is it sometimes?
It's a really hard job. You got to get to know the players really well. You got to get to know their communicational styles and their preferences, what things to say and when, and you just have to trust your instincts and be able to get the light bulb to go off in their head. And sometimes you got to say something, but you just have to say it in a different way that it just triggers that picture to be seen inside their head. And I think that's probably my biggest learning curve, is just as a newer person in this position, is getting to know the players and getting to know their tendencies and their strengths and their weaknesses. And then, really spending a lot of time off the lanes, helping them be stronger mentally, know their equipment better, make better decisions, trust their instincts more. You always hear players talk about, they come back, I need to trust my gut, or I need to trust my instincts more. That's something that we're really trying to elevate the learning curve on and get them to do that more often and more quickly. So it's a very tough job, though. I'm not going to say that it's not tough, but it's a very rewarding job. I easily say, at the end of the tournament, watching people achieve their dreams and their success, and then watching people grow and develop. It's very, very rewarding just to see that process playing out in front of you.
Very well said, Matt. Very well said. One more question for me. I'm not sure if Emil has another one lined up for you, but you got into the 3 different urethane bowling balls available from Storm that the players are using this week. How big are the differences from ball to ball? You mentioned certain players with lower wave rates using this one. Different styles using another. What are kind of the nuances between those balls that players are looking for as well?
Certainly, pitch black is that's been around for a long time. Generally, that's a really, really early rolling ball. It doesn't flare a whole lot, so that's going to pick up very close to you and not flare a whole lot, and just kind of the very traditional urethane shape. The fast pitch falls right after that, so it's going to be a little cleaner through the front, and you're going to see a little more flare or a little more shape when the ball transitions. Next to that is the pitch purple, which is cleaner yet, and then even more flare and more change of direction. So it really, if you're going to just do a urethane progression, you'd go pitch black, fast pitch, pitch purple, and that would be your progression right there. And then, like you say, it's just kind of a pick your poison right now with the players. If you want to play a little straighter, generally you can use a pitch black. If you want to be a little more in between, a fever pitch, or I keep saying fever pitch, fast pitch is the way to go. And then the pitch purple, if you want to open up your angles a little more and create a little more shape, that's a really, really good choice. But it still gives you kind of that urethane feel.
Well, Matt, thank you for that breakdown there, as always, sir. And we'll let you get back to the Friday night fever of this qualifying block to help out the players from Storm, Roto Grip, and 900 Global. But as always, good sir, thank you for joining us here for a couple minutes, and I'm sure we'll talk again soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
It's good stuff there.
He says it's a tough job, but he makes all these explanations sound so easy. I know it's not, but he's so eloquent and fluid with talking about bowling. Always enjoy a quick sit down with Mr. McNeil there.
Well, I think obviously we both have gotten to know him over the years, and bowling acumen is certainly one of his strengths. And I think he's in the right position. But I thought it was important to talk about. By the way, Elise Bolton is doing work over on 31 and 32. And the next opportunity at the chase, if you will, is on 31 and 32, Aaron Smith, which was PWBA 3.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. That escalated quickly.
I would head on over.
All right. Give us a quick second.
For a minute.
All right, Elise Bolton, not messing around.
No,
9 consecutive strikes.
No games. And you can see on this these pairs of lanes. Danielle McEwen had the front 6. That 8-1 was a pocket 7-10. And you'll see Daria, of course, and you get a chance to see Steph for a little bit before we take you back. But the importance of the ball rep, and I think, sometimes it can be a bit misconstrued about what they do and what all they're responsible for. But, I think they're working as hard just as the players are, trying to help them in the best way possible, but also giving them the opportunities in many cases to make their own decisions and choices as well. So give them enough tools and info to make sure they have the best understanding that they can. And then allow them to make their own decisions, and obviously they'll be there to help if needed.
All right, folks, we're going to direct our attention to lane 32, far right of your screen. In just a moment, Elise Bolton is going to be stepping up for her first shot in frame number 10. After starting off with 9 consecutive strikes, Emil.
Front 9 for Elise Bolton, assistant coach at Life University.
This will put her right in the mix as well. She's minus 92. So that would be a big jump. A chance to get to the right side of plus and be within shouting distance of this cut number. We'll go over the scores after one in just a moment.
And through the nose, 610 for Elise, but obviously spare, and she's in the 270s. So going to be a good game either way. Kelly Kulik had the front 6, then split 8-1 as well. Not sure if it was a 7-10. If I had to guess, I'd probably say yes.
There we go. Covers a spare. It's going to be in the 270s. Let's head on back over to 21 through 24. All right, back to the action here in game 2. Elise Bolton with the run at perfection, falling a little bit short there. Going to be in the 270s. Our leader continues to be Stephanie Johnson, plus 316. Liz Johnson, however, narrowing the margin. She's now at plus 299 after 258 in the opener. Danielle McCune, we saw her roll 244. She's at plus 275. Brianna Clemmer, 279 to kick things off. She's at plus 260. Sydney Brummett, plus 229 in fifth. Shannon O'Keefe with 257 to get to plus 220. Brianna Cote and Lauren Pate, both at plus 198. Julia Bond, plus 197. And Missy Parkin rounds out the top 10, plus 190. Scrolling down to take a look at the cut number. Jumped up to plus 58. Alicia Current, who rolled 244 in game number 1, plus 58, your number with 5 left to go. First player out, Gigi Mason, plus 50, 8 pins back. After a pretty strong start, Dasha Kovalova dropping out of the top 32. Her final 2 games to wrap up block 1 were 193 and 183 to finish at plus 75. And then 165 to start this block. So she's now at plus 40. Liz Culkin, we talked about her, 202 in the first game at plus 39. Stephanie Zavala, 220 out of the gates to get to plus 28. DZ Diana at plus 3. Some of the players on the outside looking in at the moment. Elise Bolton finished with 278, so she's minus 14 now.
That's big on many levels.
Talked about Danielle and her run. She has a double in the 10th, so she's going to be in the 260s. Fairly Crawley spare 5-bagger, but I believe at least with the lone run at 300.
Did you mention Kelly?
I know we touched on her a little bit earlier, but I did not. So she could still shoot 266 this game as well. Saw the note in the chat about the 4.9 slowing her down in frame 7.
Good note, Aaron, about that update, or that small delay, which is over on 37 and 38, because there's been so many strikes thrown on that pair. Essentially, they've erased the delay that they did have, and the pace has sped up, and now they're almost into the ninth.
Well, that's what we like to hear. Yeah, pace of play.
Yeah, that's, I wasn't sure which way that was going to go, obviously, but credit the staff here again, making quick work of what could have been a troublesome situation.
This game for Jen here in game number 2. She's going to be in the 240s. Mentioned Brianna Cote in the top 10. Was tied for 7th entering this game. Although did not want to let that single pin sneak away there. And I noticed that, so I'm kind of glad that Matt mentioned that about and just glancing at live scoring and watching throughout the course of today, the 9 outs have been a little more prevalent than we typically see on tour.
Yeah, I agree. Someone mentioned that during the practice session. I don't recall who it was in the chat, but it was one of those kind of keep in mind or be on the lookout where, that those plastic balls, could stand up at the end of the pattern. And we've seen that. I've seen a couple of those, especially at 10 pins.
Shot there by Caitlin Johnson. She can get to 222 this game. Jen finishes with 244.
Yep, it was rep. Rep.
Nice shot there by Caitlin. As Matt mentioned, it's been advantageous to be named Johnson so far, but she does have some work to do here. Minus 18 entering this game. Gigi connects for the first hit, and she can get to 210. So Caitlin can get to the right side of plus here with decent count. Still going to have some work to do in these final upcoming 4 games. .222 to get to +4. Caitlin Johnson, another member of the strong rookie class in 2021. GG wraps 10, so 2-0, her max score. Shampluhasi is going to be giving a couple pins back to the field here. She can get to 191. And as we wrap up game number 2, got another great company to recognize as a registered product partner with the PWBA Tour. Of course, Apparel EFX offers many great styles and looks for your jersey needs. Be sure to visit www.apparelefx.com for custom uniforms for all sports. Apparel EFX, proud sponsor of the PWBA Tour.
I guess if there's one surprise for me right now, it's Dan Plahowski's scores not being a little bit higher. I'm just expecting to see a few more strikes, not that they won't show, or that will not happen this round. Certainly it's not over, nor is the tournament, obviously, for that matter. Just trying to get to tomorrow. But I thought she'd probably be, already in that top 10, 15-ish area.
We've seen a lot of players put up big numbers over the course of today, but I don't think we've seen anyone as consistent as Shannon. And, I mean, she's in the cut number right now. That 191 is going to drop her to plus 64, so still ahead of the pace that it was entering this game, but going to make it a little closer. But her game so far today, 191's been her low game so far. Her high game, 224. So that opening block, she went 217, 224, 193, 219, 214, 205 to get to plus 72. She kicked off this block with 201 before 191. So she's been steady. She can find her way to the pocket to collect a few doubles, but still looking for that 240, 250, 260 look that most of the players have been able to find.
Yeah, looking at the standings, we were talking about lefties yesterday. I just, it's one of those things. I would have bet a lot of money that Shannon certainly would have a good week. And again, she still could. Just at this point in the tournament, you good point about the big games. I would have thought a couple of 260, 250 type games would have already been on her scorecard. I'm looking at it right now. Let's see. She might be the only lefty in the top 32 at the moment after 7 games. Not uncommon. I don't think there's that many lefties in the field this week. Jellamar Beasley was 39th at plus 24. She's left-handed. Interesting.
So moving to game number 3 here. On 21 and 22, we have Alexis Nair, Suzette Draper, Emma Grace Dockery, and Maria Jose Rodriguez. Over on 23 and 24, Ashley Galante, Liz Culkin, and Jessica Aiza. Alexis Nair at plus 114, Maria Jose Rodriguez plus 70, Ashley Galante plus 54, Liz Culkin plus 40.
Aaron, are you no one can see you, obviously. Are you standing right now?
I did transition to from sitting to standing, yes. Been sitting for a while. Got to stretch out every once in a while.
I feel you. It's important to stand and get that blood flowing. Liz Culkin, I mentioned earlier, with a lot of fans, and certainly warranted, of course, being one of the local players this week. Those players literally trying to just will her, I should say, to will her to advancing.
Liz made a late run toward the end of the block to get to plus and to get within range of the cut number. Still outside of it. I believe once we get this next score update. But certainly within range.
It's a really huge block for Ashley Galante, too. Recently engaged. For those of you who may be joining us for the first time, we talked to her during yesterday's practice session about that. About some of the things she was looking forward to with this pattern as well. But she was 37th after 7 games at plus 29. Players that you would normally see in the top 32, Aaron's mentioned them. You know, Gigi, Dasha, Liz Colkin, Ashley Galante, Stephanie Zavala right now. On that outside looking in, throwing Diana Zavyalova in that category as well, of players who certainly would normally be looking at spots inside the top 32 already. She's not on camera right now, Aaron, but she's in front of me in my vantage point. I'll talk about it after this Liz Colkin shot. Nice. Okay, that's a good break. I'm thinking this day should be a cinch here for Liz Colkin. She's got the Yankees jersey repping the day. I know sometimes, and I have not spoken to her about this, but I know sometimes it can be a little difficult actually bowling in front of your family and friends because you don't want to disappoint. I remember talking to Missy about that a couple years ago.
In talking to Liz before the start of the tournament in our preview story, I definitely didn't sense that was going to be an extra thing that might distract her throughout the course of the week. She actually felt that might be something to help, especially if she makes a deep run into this event. Having that hometown support would be advantageous in those final few rounds, but a ton of confidence heading into this event, the rest of this particular swing as well. She's been bowling extremely well on tour the past, essentially since she's made her debut in April at the Twin Cities Open. She's been in the top 20 of every event, 3 top 10s. and a championship round appearance at the Queens, finishing 3rd place overall in the first major of the year.
Yeah, if there's anybody who would be, not welcoming in regards to fans and or her own family and friends, certainly it would be her. Liz thrives off that extra juice. Loves to get amped up. But I wanted to make that point just for the people, I've heard players say we've heard it both ways. It's advantageous, but then obviously sometimes it's also, while still advantageous, it's like, okay, there's that small little bit of, you never want to be, or you never want to disappoint your people. That would be me. I wouldn't want to disappoint the people.
I feel that every time I work with you, Emil. I just don't want to disappoint you with my performance throughout the course of the week.
Aaron, we've got a score dash. Score dash delivery after 8 games. Liz Johnson is lacing shots, by the way. Looking pretty darn good. Would you like me to dig into the top 10 here?
Let's do it.
All right. Stephanie Johnson is still leading at plus 345. Danielle McEwen now into second. At plus 339. We move in front of Liz Johnson by 29 pins. Liz at plus 310. Danielle has gone, has started, 244, 264. And as Aaron mentioned, going back to round 1, 247, 299. Throw that in there. And I really feel like, Danielle's been, I think, bowling some of her best games, tournaments, and events here in these last however many weeks it's been, including Cleveland. Brianna Klemmer, 4th at plus 254. Remains there. Sydney Brummett remains in 5th at plus 251. Shannon O'Keefe, 6th at plus 237. Missy Parkin has moved into 7th place at plus 235. Verity Crawley is 8th at plus 210. Kelly Kulik is 9th at plus 208. Lauren Pate is 10th at plus 206. And Brianna Cote has fallen out of the top 10. She is 11th at plus 188. Someone asked about Team Malaysia. Chalin Zulkifli recently retired from the team and is out for the rest of this PWBA Tour season. She is 12th at plus 181. Cut number right now, plus 54. Ashley Galante now back into the number. With Jasmine Mason, Gigi at plus 50. In 33rd, Dasha Kovalova, 34th at plus 42. Liz Culkin, 35th at plus 40. Karina Divis closing in at plus 36. She is in 36th place. Stephanie Zavala, not too bad. Plus 33 is in 37. 41 players are plus at the moment.
So the number did drop a couple pins there down to plus 54. Was plus 58 the previous game.
It was last week where it went up 20 pins last game, or dropped? Which one was it? I don't recall.
It was drop.
Okay.
It went from like minus 87 or something like that to like minus 106, I think. Mentioned Caitlin Johnson last game. We caught the end of that game. She fired the last 5 or 6 for 222 to get to +4. She has started this game on 27 and 28, spare 6-bagger. So looking to make a move into the cut. Shannon O'Keefe started off with the front 5, followed by 9 spare and another strike, so 279 still out there for her. Liz Johnson had the front 5 before a 9 spare in the 6th. Just taking a look at live scoring provided by Lane Talk, and there's actually a chance for Liz Johnson to jump over both Stephanie and Danielle here to take the lead. Mentioned Liz still has 279 out there. 223 the max for Danielle with the 9th and 10th to go. And for Stephanie, a max of 203 this game. Miss Kelly Kulik in that rundown over on 37-38, spare 6-bagger. A shot there by Ashley to set up frame number 9. Mentioned she was the cut number heading in at +54, can get to 234. See a question about JT, Jason Thomas in the Bowl TV chat, and JT actually here at the office this week, working on a couple things, but he's actually going to be heading out for an event on Sunday. So, folks, you might have caught our announcement yesterday. Bowl TV and UBA, the Underground Bowling Association, teaming up once again. JT will be heading out to Connecticut for UBA Season Brawl number 24 to bring that event to you here on bowltv.com. Caitlin Johnson still striking. It's 290 out there with the 9th and 10th left to go. Clara Guerrero, front 5 on 15 and 16. That was, or she was on the pair that had the breakdown in game 1.
Did you talk about Kelly yet?
I did mention her, yes.
You know, I wasn't there earlier in the week. Or I'm sorry, in the season for Kelly's stepladder makes, but she's looking like she's on that run to get her in position to be near or certainly inside the top 12 for tomorrow. Coming off right now, 260 game 2 here tonight. And in position to do more damage.
265 in game 2. She was 137 over in the first block. So it's again in great position to advance through the top 32, but kind of getting to that point where, you know, start maybe or we do at least, maybe not necessarily the players, but, you know, start taking a look at that top 12 number, see how that's beginning to develop a little bit as well. Shalin currently the number for the top 12 at plus 181. So as I mentioned, we got some folks fighting for that top 32 spot, currently in the plus 50 range. So they're about 130 pins back. Late trip with a 7-10. Jessica from the Capital Region as well.
Yep, crowd went wild that too.
221 for her. Liz unable to get the first hit in the 10th. 2-7 left standing. Her Maxis game 1 at 93 now. Clara up to 6 in a row. Caitlin Johnson, 290 still out there. Helix Max 269. Had a 9 spare in the 9th. Alexis Nyer put together a nice performance. We talked to her yesterday. She talked about being comfortable playing 1, 2, 3. She is getting the ball certainly out to that spot. She could shoot 279 this game. Already in pretty good position at plus 114 entering this game, but much like last week, she has found her rhythm in round number 2. She is plus 45 after the first 6 games. Started off 223, 246. She's looking at high 740s if she finishes this out. Shannon O'Keefe just fired 2. .59. Talk about Liz potentially making a run at the lead. She ended up having an open in the 8th frame. I can still shoot 245 this game. Danielle McCune has moved ahead of Stephanie Johnson. Here's Nair. First shot of the 10th. Wow. Let's go, Rook.
You know, I came away thoroughly impressed with Alexis at the 2019 U.S. Women's Open. She made that very nice run, nearly made match play. Coming off a final season, of course, collegiately. And man, you certainly hope that at some point she'd be out here on a more of a regular basis. Got some help right there. She found some hold. A lot of people have not found hold.
Wow. Let's go. I want that look right there. Caitlin Johnson, 279. She's now at plus 83.
Looks like she may have even thrown something different on that fill.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very nice game. Putting in some serious work here.
Emil, we got some additional bowling to go to here in Game 3.
Well, we've got PWBA 3. Lindsay Boomershine is working on the 3-bagger, so I'd go there. She's in the 10th frame.
See Liz at 233. So that means Danielle McCune is going to be our new leader.
Here comes the boom. Lindsay at plus 63 right now in 30th. Chance to add 30 pins to that total potentially if she can throw one more in the 10th frame. Now wrap 10. Another good shot. See Maria Bolanova. A good shot on her fill ball as well. I think some viewers probably have noticed or paid attention, but this week's totals for players are following them. So the scores and their cumulative totals are following. So you can see that. It's there. LJ 233, Aaron Smith.
Game 4 upcoming. Game 10 overall for these athletes so far today. It's again 12 game totals. At the conclusion of this round, will determine the top 32 who will earn a check and advance to Saturdays. First round, round 3 overall. 10 a.m. Eastern, the time for that. Another 6 games will determine the top 12. And for the top 12, they'll bowl 6 more with 24 game pinfall totals, determining the 4 players advancing to the stepladder final, taking place tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on Bowl TV. Giving away not 1, not 2, but 3 bowling balls during the stepladder finals. Some additional giveaways along the way as well. So do not miss the action tomorrow. So we get ready for game 4. Genesis Bowling, another proud sponsor here on the PWBA Tour, home of the K-Motion, featuring a copper infusion. The #1 kinesiology tape in bowling. Visit bowlgenesis.com for more information. Genesis, proud sponsor of the PWBA Tour. Awaiting game 4 on 21 and 22, Clara Guerrero, in Jelimar Beasley, Brianna Clemmer, and Renee Riffey. Already underway for game 4, Julia Bond, Lauren Pate, Abby Ragsdale, and Melissa Kammerer. Julia Bond at plus 143. Looks like plus 232 for Lauren Pate, the 2 players plus on this pair.
The Liz Colkin crowd starting to get into it a little bit. It's starting to get warm in the building again, Aaron Smith. And I'm generally not a big fan of that, but that just lets me know that the crowd is popping here inside Kingpin's Alley Family Fun Center.
Fans are back.
So speaking of that, it's 7 o'clock on the dot. And I'm in my drop top, cruising the streets. A little line from Usher. As we get to 21 and 22, they'll be on and popping in just 1 second. So this seems like a good opportunity, Aaron Smith, to have a little discussion. A little chat as we begin game 4. We got some folks, again, about to throw their first ball, and obviously we'll be keeping an eye on strings and such, but curious what our community thinks essentially about the top players, and really, who do you guys think are the top? And it's hard to narrow down. The top 5 to 10 players right now on the PWBA tour. Yeah, if you wanted to start a team, which of course that already happened, which was pretty cool. We saw some team play with PBA League for the our PWBA players, but who are your top players in your opinion? Drop them in the chat. See what we got here.
What are you asking the folks? You asking for a hard top 5 right here?
You know, I think I was trying to be as somewhat lenient as possible, give some people some options. I will just throw that out. So yeah, hard top 5, right? 3 of those, well, I would say minimum 2, but 3 I would think, right? Sold up, Aaron Smith, in your opinion. You got to start with Shannon and Danielle.
I think they're certainly up there. I feel Dash has automatic entry to that club as well.
I would have to include Liz Johnson still for me personally. I know she's had a few events where, she struggled, but it's not enough for me to remove her completely from that pedestal for the top 5 for me. I also would think Dasha is there as well. I think she's proven that at this point. That 5th spot's it's kind of difficult. There's a lot of choices.
I'd have to agree. That would be a tough decision for any incoming coach to make for such a moment. But I have to say it's hard not to include the young lady who's bowling on 23 and 24 in that conversation after the year she's had. Her name is Bond, Julia Bond. I'm sure she's never heard that one before.
Yeah, definitely leaning toward JB on that because I think she's earned that spot, right? At least earned the opportunity to to be in that talk and certainly in that discussion. And
She's a mainstay for that conversation moving forward, in my opinion.
well, like we said, I think we talked about this last week, not this particular topic, but specifically about Julia Bond, as far as she is now going to be in the Player of the Year conversation for the rest of her career. She is now that player where you start a POI combo with or include her name in that, no matter who else is in the conversation. So,
she's made the leap.
yeah. So yeah, Shannon D-Mac, Liz Johnson, Dasha, Julia Bond. I've seen a few variations. Let's go read some. It's very difficult. Also, Verity, right? She's she's in a lot of folks' top fives, I think.
I still, outside of collecting a victory yet, I feel she's been the MVP of this second round, or second swing of the tour, essentially. Obviously Stephanie Zavala has won twice. Julia Bond has won a major. Other players have won, but if you look at consistency on tour over the course of the past 6 events now, there hasn't been a player more consistent, in my opinion, than Verity Crawley. And it goes without saying, some of the other players have obviously put up performances that are matching that. We talked about Shannon O'Keefe yesterday being the only player still leading the tour in match play top 12s over the course of the season. She's made every one of them so far. She just hasn't bowled every event. But Verity, 100% in that as well, just has bowled less events.
Some of these top fives, Aaron: Barbara, D-Mac, Liz Johnson, Dasha, Stephanie Johnson, Shannon O'Keefe. Can't go wrong there. John says D-Mac, Liz Holken, Liz Johnson, Shannon O'Keefe, Daria Payok, Shannon. Roderick says Verity, D-Mac, Liz Johnson, Shannon O'Keefe, Dasha. Larry says he mentioned Liz. He mentioned Kelly. Okay, Larry, I see you. And Dasha. Rick says D-Mac, Julia Bond, Verity, Shannon O, Liz Johnson. I like that variety there. Mr. Pate says make sure Lauren Pate's in that conversation. I see you, Mr. Pate.
That's right, Mr. Pate.
That's right. James says Liz Johnson, Shannon O'Keefe, D-Mac, Daria Payok, Kelly Kulick. Ken says Liz. I don't know which Liz, though, Ken. We've got both Liz's have already been in a couple of people's top fives, respectively. Liz, Verity, Daria, Diana Zavialova, okay, and D-Mac. Chris says D-Mac, Shannon, Dasha, Stephanie Zavala. I see you, Chris. And Kelly. Rep mentioned Steph Z. Want to make sure I say Stephanie because I think it's always Stephanie for her. Kevin says Verity, Danielle, Liz Johnson, Stephanie Johnson, and Shannon O'Keefe. Ken Hampel, this one. The other one was Ken Kasperzak. Shannon, Danielle, Stephanie, and Dasha. We left one there. Susan. Dash. Liz Johnson, Shannon, D-Mac, Tabitha, Julia Bond, D-Mac, Liz Johnson, those three for sure. Larry, yes, this is hard.
A fair assessment of the question.
Yes. Yes.
We said there'd be no easy questions, just easy giveaways on Bowl TV. Excellent choices, though, in the chat, folks. Melissa was going for 7 in a row there. Did not get the 7 pin, though, to tumble down.
Yeah, I want everyone to win too. I mean, it's no wrong answers here. This is, we're not. This is just for a conversation starter topic with some community involvement. I do like James Tyler's response in regards to disregard Kelly at your peril. I think that's obviously very fair. You cannot ever forget about Kelly Q. Because every time you do, she makes a show. And is there to remind you right in that moment, while she has maybe taken a few steps back, so to speak, she is still more than capable. And very similar, but just different in regards to that next win. She needs that additional win, if you will, to I think for herself a little bit, but I think for her it's just more of a, all right, I got this done, and if she chose to continue to scale back a little bit and do some other things, she will have certainly accomplished what she needed to, I think, and how she feels about the game at the moment. We're just talking about her because, she's looking like she's about to make that run. Not only, forget about the top 32, she's trying to get in position to be in the top 12 talk for tomorrow already.
Not going to lie, that was a good talk, Emil. That was a good conversation.
Yeah, that's one that could go on and on. And it's got a lot of responses, which is great. The main thing about this is it shows how good the players are on the PWBA Tour and how wide-ranging, meaning you could go down the list far and beyond the top 10 and think about players who still could be in someone's top 5. Gigi was mentioned a lot, right? Kelly. Someone has mentioned Aaron McCarthy. Someone asked could they use Jillian Martin. Not yet. In a couple of years, yes, but not yet. Missy Parkin, right? I mean, it could go a lot of different ways. Brianna Kotek. It would be easy to go with the top 10, but if someone had to force you to pick 5, that's where the decisions become harder.
Well, it's certainly not easy for the top 10 either. But currently in the top 10 here at the PWBA Albany Open. After 9 games, 3 here in round 2. D-Mac to the top of the leaderboard, plus 359, 728 for her first 3. Liz Johnson, second, plus 343. Stephanie Johnson drops to third place after 181. She's at plus 326. Shannon O'Keefe in fourth place, plus 296. And Kelly Kulik rounds out the top 5 after 269 that game, plus 277. So that's a pretty darn good top 5 right there. Emil Williams Jr., Danielle, Liz J, Steph J, Shannon, and Kelly. Just outside the top 10, or top 5, excuse me. Missy Parkin, plus 268. Brianna Clemmer, plus 262. Lauren Pate in 8th place, plus 232. Verity Crawley, plus 214. And Sydney Brummett, plus 205, rounds out the top 10. Moving on down to the cut number. Tie for 31st place. Stephanie Zavala and Ashley Galante at plus 67. First player out, Shannon Pluhowski, plus 63, and then a bit of a drop to Azeret Zetter at plus 41. Liz Culkin and Kayla Bandy both at plus 28. And Jelmar Beasley, we're watching her right now, plus 27. Birgit Norikes, plus 24. Janelle Irwin, plus 20. Sabrina Divis, plus 17. And Dasha, 168. in game 3. It's dropped to plus 10. So 41 players averaging better than 200. And going down all the way from 33rd to 41st, all within 57 pins of the cut number. Mentioned Caitlin Johnson, 279. She jumped all the way to 29th place. She's at plus 83 now. Strong performances out of the gates so far. Players 100 plus or better for their first 3 games. Got Clara Guerrero at plus 103 for her 3-game block, 703 total, plus 143 overall. Daria, 704 for her first 3 at plus 173 overall. Alexis Nair with that 279, 748. Currently in 12th place, plus 193. Kelly Kulik, 740. To get to that plus 277. Shannon O'Keefe, 733. Plus 296. Liz Johnson, 702. Danielle, 728. Business picking up, though, for Stephanie Johnson here in game number 4. Started off at the front 5, a couple spares in a row after that. And get into the 240s this game. Danielle McCune can max out at 225. Kelly Kulik, spare 5-bagger. Kaylin Carl, front 5 on 11 and 12. Emil, I feel you're very close to Liz Culkin.
Can you tell?
I can, because she's putting together a big game here. She's got her sights on 240s, already into the 230s. That's a huge game.
She's on PWBA 3 with those scoring at home.
She's going to go ahead of Ashley Galante, who dropped to plus 40. Kayla Bandy, a player we mentioned just outside the number to start this game. She just fired a game in the 250s. She's at plus 83 now.
A lot of work just put in there from Liz Culkin. .244.
Big game for Queen Bee.
Starting to feel it a little bit. One thing I'll say, and I said it last week, and the chat let me know, or made sure I knew that 2 things. 1, that I was right, and 2, that I was terrible for being right. But I think we're going to the 7-10 is going to rear its ugly head yet again. On 29 and 30. There's just been too many. Not just on that pair, but I've seen a few on that pair, and I've seen a few on other pairs. So I think that's just a characteristic of the building.
I'm certainly not surprised to see a few of them. We talked about, kind of even with the scoring pace being a little bit higher, once you start opening up your angles, carry gets a little trickier. So I've seen a few of those as well. Strong finish for Lauren Payton. She's going to be 256 over with that 224 game. Great shot from Julia to kick off her 10th frame, 205, her max. .259 that game for Shannon O'Keefe. She's at 355 over. She's going to jump ahead of Liz Johnson, who's found some struggles here in game 4. She's going to be in the 170s. Liz Culkin at plus 72 now. Kelly Kulik still striking. She can shoot 279 this game. Stephanie Johnson now in the books at plus 360. Danielle McCune plus 364. But after a 206 opening game this block, Kelly Kulik, she can get a couple more strikes in the 10th. Going to pop off a nice little 813 for 3 stretch. To get to plus 356. She's going to be in the 800s for that 3. Got the second hit in the 10th, so already in the 260s.
It's happening.
Look out, folks.
One of the other things is I think every time Kelly has been scheduled to be a part of a stepladder finals, as far as the Bowl TV coverage is concerned, she makes the show. That's been the case so far, right, Aaron Smith? And that how that's gone down?
Yes.
Couple, I should say, of that second swing.
She did join us for the Queens.
But what, Twin Cities and Lincoln?
Mm-hmm. Look out, Bowling World. Kelly did finish that off. 813 for her last three, now plus 356. And this is turning into a star-studded top four at the moment.
How star-studded, Aaron? Like, give me an example.
Like right now, based off what I'm seeing here on Lane Talk, which is providing us live scoring at the moment, we have Danielle McCune at plus 364. That's pretty good, right? She's solid.
Yeah, I'd say so.
5-time tour champ. Runner-up at for Player of the Year the last 2 seasons. We got Stephanie Johnson, 3-time champion, 2015. Rookie of the Year, major winner at plus 360. Mentioned Kelly Kulick. Plus 356 after that nice little stretch, 813. And then Shannon O'Keefe, I believe, was also at plus 356. And then Liz Johnson hanging around that as well. Maybe they're right. Maybe we just need to take 5 for this event. Step ladder, change it up.
Yeah, I mentioned that in the chat too, folks. I personally, I'm not sure of the specific reasoning. I'm sure there was a method to why that was chosen, when it was chosen. Obviously, not to say that it couldn't be changed. So I always say, hey, send an email. They do get read. I do know that. I'm no longer in the building on a daily basis, but I know emails used to get read all the time. So their feedback would be at least read. And if you send an email that says Aaron is excellent at his job, I think he would appreciate that too. He is a champion in his role.
It's all I've ever wanted to be told in life. Champion in your role. Oh, goodness. I see you, Emil. I see you.
I missed you, Aaron.
I miss you too, guy. So we wrap up at game number 4. High Five Gear, proud sponsor of the PWBA Tour. Their apparel is an extension of you, bold, creative, original, custom apparel for the individual, the team, and everyone in between. High Five Gear. Check out their jerseys and more. All right, Emil, you are a champion of picking pairs. Where should we be going next? What we got? We got anything still ongoing at the moment?
Well, to be honest with you, PWBA 3 is now completely into Game 5, as is PWBA 4.
How about that?
So, 4, where Liz Culkin has got some momentum. She's on that channel. Alexis Nair continues to perform well here late. And then we have Missy Parkin, Taylor Boltice, Shaolin Zulkifli. Talked about Julia Bond, Ragsdale, Lauren Pate, and Melissa Cameron right now on PWBA 3.
I elected 4.
Works for me.
Excited to see this Liz Culkin dynamic in action here.
And with that, you also mentioned, potentially she had moved in front of Ashley Galante, and they're rolling together. When someone had mentioned the thumbprint or fingerprint at bottom right corner on PWBA 3, it was actually the light that I'm using that snuck its way into the camera. Someone had bumped it a little bit. But while I was fixing it, I had a chance to briefly catch up with Shannon Puhowski, and she talked about how she just keeps getting 9. And she'll get a double here and there, and then 9-9-9, double 9-9-9. And so she's gone or started 9 spare strike down on 37 and 38 to start game number 5. And so, obviously I was thinking that Shannon would have a great weekend. I think she thought the same thing, honestly, based on our conversation there. She said she couldn't even cheat it, meaning like sometimes she can kind of make the right guess on, how to make it happen, and that's not even worth it. Still gets 9. So I think for Shannon, it might just be if she can just make the cut. If she can just get in the top 32, and maybe there's that adjustment. Maybe there's, a different ball. Maybe it's a different purple. We'll see what happens. Looks like the last of our players are making the move to their next pair of lanes for game number 5. So we should have a new update pretty soon. And we are moving right along here. I feel like last week I said the exact same thing about this time only it was 7:45 exactly Eastern time, and I think we were getting done maybe with game 4 or 5. I was just kind of shocked at what time it was. It just felt much earlier. Nonetheless, there's a good question in the chat there from Barbara about the physical fitness. There is not a certain level of fitness as per the PWBA. So, there's no PWBA rule that states you must be at a certain fitness level. That is all up to the players. But the players know. As Lauren Pate crossed the way on lane 30. That's a good shot off camera there. More 9, and then just made it. Regarding the fitness, though, the players know what type of conditioning that they feel they need to be in to perform. Because weekends on the tour or weeks on the tour are sprints and not marathons. So endurance is certainly a priority for players on tour. Only endurance, then you'll see, varying levels, I would say, of strength training. Totally up to the players and what they're looking to do, what goals they're looking to meet. Heather DeRico I know she works with several players from the fitness perspective. And then Valerie Bercier from the nutritional perspective. So, I feel like all the bases are covered here, but, just follow players on social media. Danielle, Verity, Daria, Missy. They tell you and talk about, and in many ways bring you inside. Ashley, for example, what their routines are like, how they do their day in and day out. I do recall a piece that never made it to air, but I went and basically filmed a workout while we were in Rochester, New York. It was actually at Heather DeRico's place of business at the time. She was part of a particular fitness location, and she ran a couple of players through, I don't know, probably what was an hour or so workout. And that was a fun day. It was fun because I didn't have to participate. I think I did a little bit, and someone grabbed the camera and filmed that. Now I'm very curious what happened to that piece. I really want to see it now. But it was a good way to kind of just spend some time with the players for that very reason and get an idea of what they do on that weekly or that day-to-day, I should say.
Well, Emil, if you're looking for content of you working out, I believe I still have a video of you running laps with McKendry at the ITRC.
Forgot about that. We should put that up. We should play that today. That's great. That is fantastic. Score dash delivery. Aaron, last week, I had all the score updates game by game. we went through and saw essentially how many games Stephanie Zavala did not lead. That was basically the deal last week. This week, there's been a few leaders already, right? A couple?
There has, yep.
And so Danielle, still your leader after 10 games at plus 364. Stephanie Johnson second at plus 360. Kelly Kulick, as we mentioned. I just want to reiterate, 265, 269, 279. Last 3 games, plus 356. Shannon O'Keefe has moved into 4th place at plus 355. Liz Johnson, 5th at plus 314. Woo. That was someone's top 5 right there, that I believe, when we had that discussion in the chat. Brianna Clemmer as Liz Culkin. Train's moving. The Yankees are playing well. Brianna Clemmer is 6th at plus 288. Lauren Pate 7th at plus 256. Sydney Brummett 8th at plus 252. Alexis Nyer, Aaron Smith has moved into 9th place. She's in the top 10.
Let's go.
Batting 1,000 already this block. 1,000 even for 4 games. She's plus 200 this round. Again at plus 245. Missy Parkin is 10th at plus 235. Brianna Cote is 11th at plus 221. Verity Crawley 12th at plus 207. Like Verity's positioning there. Still in a very good spot. A lot of credit today to Karen Mangiola at plus 187 and 13. Tied for 14th, Daria Payok and Taylor Boltice at plus 116. Summer Jasmine having another good week here, plus 159 and 16th. Challenge Keithley 17th at plus 157. Carrie Smith, Julia Bond at plus 147, tied for 18th. 20th, plus 142, Clara Reredo. Valerie Bercier, Mallory Nutting, Taylor Bailey, Sandra Gongora, Caitlin Johnson, Maria Jose Rodriguez, Alicia Current, Kayla Bandy. What's for Kayla? Bluhowski still in it. Liz Culkin in the mix now in the cut. Amanda Najoke is falling back to the pack, unfortunately. She's got to be careful. She's 31st. And the cut number now is G.G. Mason at plus 70. Plus 70 is the number. And that is Jasmine G.G. Mason. As someone mentioned that the cream certainly has always rises to the top, without a doubt. Stephanie Johnson is second. If someone missed that, she is in second place at plus 360. Below the number, Lindsay Boomershine is plus 66. In 33rd, Stephanie Zavala, 34th at plus 44. And Jellamar Beasley is 35th at plus 41. Ashley Galante is 36th at plus 40. Dasha is 42nd at minus 21. Having one of those weeks. But still some frames left. And there is a few frames left there for Liz Culkin. Bang.
First one of the week.
There it is. I needed that. It felt real good to my soul.
Sounded good. I enjoyed every aspect of that. 268 still out there for Queen Bee. It's missing that 10 pin in frame 2. Nothing but strikes. Caitlin Johnson with the front 7 over on 5 and 6. Taking a look at Lane Talk, providing live scoring this week. Dasha Kovalova, the front 4.
Shannon Pluhowski, Aaron Smith is throwing something that does not look to be your thing. Just as an update there on down on 37 and 38. Still trying to get a double. I mean, it's exactly what she mentioned. She's gone 9 spare strike, 9 spare, 9 spare strike, 9 spare strike.
Caitlin Johnson up to the front 8 now. On 5 and 6. Fill ball left to go for Ashley Galante. She can get to 218. Emil. I want to see this crowd go nuts here for Liz if she gets a hit or two.
Oh, it's going to happen. You see Curtis has made his way down to 5 and 6. That's been the pair of the day, right?
There have been some numbers up there. That's where Stephanie Johnson started with the front 10 in game 1. Pin in the gutter on lane 36 for Culkin. So she will take care of that effectively. Can always appreciate a good deadwood clear.
Yeah, our good friend Jeff Goodger would enjoy that.
Ready for this 10th frame energy. Liz Culkin. First shot of the 10th. 3-6-10. A chance at another 240 game.
That'll work, though.
Take it all day.
You know, 12 games is a lot. It's easy to sometimes kind of get caught up in the moment. But how many times have we seen players handle business in a round 2, for example, like tonight, where they didn't really put themselves out of contention, right, in round 1?
Mm-hmm.
But of course, we've seen players, in theory, do that, bowl themselves out of the tournament in round 1, but then have these just incredible exception blocks in round 2. To Danielle McEwen, for example, a few weeks back in Cleveland.
Wasn't that Alexis Nair last week?
Indeed it was. And there she is again in the present.
Caitlin Johnson did not get the strike in frame number 9. Going to be 241 for Kalkin to get to plus 113. I just heard somebody there messing with the energy. Dropping a hard go Mets to Liz. Well, Emil, it's a good thing that a baseball rivalry has never divided a city or its fan base in the past, so I wouldn't know anything about that whatsoever. Go Cubs.
That's just horrible, Aaron. White Sox do not adhere to such ludicrous chants.
Speaking of ludicrous,
is he here?
I was talking about that 7-pin Maria just left.
Ah, yeah, that wasn't very exceptional. See the 710 just to the left of it on the Missy Parkin. Julia Bond, another game in the 240s. Wow. This game there for Julia. Could have more there. Tough 4-pin, and she'll get into the 240s again, as we said. Alexis Nair, a chance to again get into the 240s. And again. Another rude 710.
Emil, this is the end of game 5.
It is.
That means the final game is coming up next. Which also means, for those of you who have been patiently waiting, a giveaway is upcoming for a limited edition, sharp looking Bowl TV t-shirt to one lucky Bowl TV viewer.
Oh, Aaron, I thought you were about to keep going with that. How the adjectives you just dropped?
I'm all about brevity right now.
Yeah, the only thing you didn't say was the limousine ride.
Woo!
Jet flying.
Game 5 wrapped up here on 33 through 36. Emil, what else we got ongoing at the moment?
PWBA 2 would be the Actually, 1 or 2. And Jelimar Beasley is going to be in the 230. She's finishing up. Clara Guerrero's got a 4-bagger. She'll be working in the 10th pretty soon. She can get to 245. Brianna Clemmer can get to 233. Birgit Norwikes right now working on a 4-bagger. She can get into the 250s max. And a few strikes till PWBA 1. So go 2, then 1.
I got you covered.
We've already done it. It's going to be pretty light on the high end of the building for a little bit as far as bowling is concerned. As players finish up on the low end and make that walk back down to finish out the round.
Fantastic shot there by Clemmer. 3rd place finish last week at the BVL Open. See Carrie Smith get that first hit in the 10th. She's in the 190s now, looking to get to the 2 O's.
Wow. That ball duck hooked. Haven't seen that. That's why you throw that on the fill.
So Clemmer north of plus 300 now.
That would be correct.
Clara at plus 165. And Jelimar plus 78. 1 to go.
That was a big game, huge game for Jelimar there in game 5. That was an interesting game where she went double gutter spare early in the game. without being able to see what's all going down on the low end of the building, Aaron, I think we'll be able to essentially get through PWBA 1's 10th frame and then have players make their way down. So we already got some players down on PWBA 4. At least one group is ready to go on 35 and 36. There are many others who are waiting to make the walk. Right now, the low end Aaron Smith just looks so foreign to me because we haven't seen fans right in public places and all that sporting events for such a long time. And I have I'm just looking right at the low end, and it is just packed. Which is great. It's the line is separated, the bowlers area, the fans behind the line. Right now, again, the majority of the bowling going on is on the low end. Speaking of who can let us know about what's been going on that low end, Curtis Von Kruger.
Greetings. Yeah, the bowler putting on a show and really a clinic. Danielle McEwen rattles off the back 10 for 279. She is still in that pitch black, throwing the urethane. It's been her ball for the last 2 weeks and just making it look easy, rolling it literally up 5 at the arrows at her break point, and it just stops, sets, and obliterates the pocket right now. So she moves securely, stays securely in first place right now, and she'll look to capitalize and build on that lead coming into the 6th game. We also had Caitlin Johnson roll a nice 260 game on the low end. So scores look like they're doing pretty well. And it's going to be a dogfight coming into this last one. And we'll keep you updated on the relevant scores and see who's going to be in and see who's going to be out.
Excellent stuff there. Thank you, Curtis. As always, D-Mac doing big things here at the Albany Open.
$33 and $34 will be up shortly to complete the groups on PWBA 4. Yo, D-Mac repping that home state, Stony Point.
I think that's still a couple hours from here, but home state indeed.
Rockland County. Me talking as if I know everything about Rockland County. Except they produced one heck of a fantastic bowler.
It's like about a 2.5 hour drive. Heading north to upstate New York.
On PWBA 2, we'll have Cara Mangiola, Verity Crawley, Heather DeRico, and Alicia Current. Specifically on 27 and 28. 31-32. Sandra Gangora. Looks like we'll have Dasha Kovalova.
So let's see. You said game 6 already underway on PWBA 4?
Absolutely. But now you've got plenty of choices. In fact, let's see. We might have. We got Kelly Kulik on PWBA 1. About to get underway, so you could go there as well. I mean, we've got actually a few choices here this game 6, so which is very good. That's what you want in life. Options.
Variety is the spice of life. So we watch these competitors wrap up game 5. We'll hop around a little bit here in game 6 as more action gets underway.
I think in our general viewing area, or at least what and who will be on our Bowl TV channels. Mentioned Verity Crawley. She's firmly in the number. Of course, Kelly Kulik, can she just finish this round out with another incredible game? I don't recall what she shot in game 11. Summer Jasmine with a nice event thus far. She's going to be in, barring any wild stuff happening here in the final game. And just as I say that, score dash. New delivery driver, Aaron Smith. Cecil Scarborough. Oh, man, we got a little bit of movement in the spots below. You ready, Aaron Smith?
I'm ready. Fire away.
Okay, so the top 11. Danielle McEwen, plus 443. After Curtis mentioned the 279 game. She is 12-12 right now for the block, and that's not even the leading block. Shannon O'Keefe now moves into second place, Aaron Smith, at plus 392. She's at 12-29 for 5 games so far. Kelly Kulik shot 204 to improve to plus 360, still in third place. Stephanie Johnson now moves to fourth after 198 in game 5, plus 358. Liz Johnson remains in fifth. She shot 215 at plus 329. Brianna Clemmer remains in sixth place at 319 or plus 319 after shooting 231. Lauren Pate, excellent performance thus far in seventh. 256 to get to plus 312. And now really challenging as you look ahead here, that top 4 number. Brianna Cote, eighth. jumping from 11th to 8th after a 269 game. She's at plus 290. Verity Crawley has gone from 12th to 9th after a 255 game at plus 262. And Alexis Nair from 9th to 10th at plus 259. Quick scan to the 32nd number. It belongs to Lindsay Boomershine right now at plus 80. And Jellamar Beasley, 2 pins back in 33rd place at plus 78. You're to get Norwikes plus 70 in 34th. Stephanie Zavala, last week's champion, already a 2-time champion again on tour this season, plus 62. 18 out. Ashley Galante, still in distance, plus 57 in 36th place. Kayla Bandy, she shot 149, drops her to plus 32, and still has a chance, but needs some help by the big game, certainly. And Sabrina Davis at plus 24. Azeret Zetter at plus 1. 39 players plus. Puhowski at plus 82, by the way, in 31st. Mallory Nutting, such a good day overall. And it's coming down to the final frame, certainly. She's at plus 101. Amanda Najokis is 29th at plus 106. There's Liz Colgan, 28th at plus 113. Big 247 game from Gigi to get to plus 117. She's in 27th place.
Excellent rundown there, Emil. Those scores are updated online as well, it looks like. So give those a refresh if you've been following along. Emil, you kicked that recap right through the uprights. 3 points, and you know how important kicks are, especially in the sport of bowling. One of our proud sponsors here on the PWBA Tour, 3G. 3G shoes provide unparalleled value and performance to match your skill level. From their top-of-the-line Tour Ultra to the budget-priced kicks, they make sure every single pair of shoes is built for durability, comfort, and style. Be sure to visit 3gbowling.com to pick up the best shoe style for your game. Have a report of a front 7.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Abby Ragsdale. Abby currently at minus 56, so that would not be enough to get her into the number. But it would be a cool way to end the day.
Question about Sandra Gongora, who is on PWBA 3. She is 16th at plus 181. She will be certainly on the way to bowling in the morning. In fact, let's just run that down real quick. So we mentioned Missy Parkin at plus 237. 11th, Sydney Brummett, 12th at plus 218. Mentioned Karen Mangiola, plus 215 at 13th. Julia Bond, 14th at plus 193. Caitlin Johnson, 15th at plus 188. Gongora, plus 181, 16th. Her tour roommate, Clara Guerrero, is 17th at plus 165. Taylor Boltice, 18th at plus 164. Shalyn Zulkifli, 19th at plus 161. Taylor Bailey, 20th at plus 158. Daria Payok, 21st at plus 152. Alicia Current, 22nd at plus 143. Carrie Smith, 23rd at plus 142. Summer Jasmine is 24th at plus 138. Valerie Mercier, 25th at plus 135. Maria Jose Rodriguez, 26th at plus 127.
Two players on the outside looking in here on lanes 33 through 36. Actually, the first two players out of the number in Jellimar Beasley and Birgit Norreichs. Both working on three baggers right now. Folks, before we get too deep into game 6, let's go ahead and get that giveaway for a Bowl TV t-shirt started. So if this is your first time joining us here on Bowl TV, it works very easily to participate in a giveaway. Just look for the prompt in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. First, it's going to say a giveaway will begin shortly. Countdown for 60 seconds, then another prompt will show up bottom left-hand corner of the screen. The giveaway has begun. With that, you'll see a submit entry button. All you have to do is click on that submit entry button for a chance to win a Bowl TV t-shirt. If you are in full screen mode, we do recommend you take it out so you can see the chat and everything to be able to take home. Some Bowl TV gear. Talk about Angelimar finds trouble in the 7th, 7-10. Working on 3 in a row. Birgit will be stepping up for her 5th frame. Far left of your screen. Connects to make it 4. Let's start the giveaway with that strike. Abby Ragsdale after that front 7 back-to-back splits in the 8th and the 9th.
What's our giveaway item again, Aaron?
Bowl TV t-shirt. Dasha Kovalova 4 in a row to start this game on 31 and 32.
At some point, I think it'd be cool if we could have some folks, some way to show off the t-shirt.
Yes, that would be cool, Emil. Wouldn't that be cool?
It would.
Front 6, Kelly Kulik, 23 and 24.
Get to hit that submit entry button, bottom of your screen.
Liz Culkin, after starting off with another missed single pin. We've talked about those sneaking up quite a bit today. Just in general, she has solidified her spot in the top 32. Chance to still shoot 255 this game. With the 9th and 10th frames left to go. Congratulations to Gary.
Gary
taking home a Bowl TV t-shirt. Gary, our marketing team will reach out to you in the next couple of days to get that size, get that shipped out to you. So congratulations, and thanks again to everybody for participating and being a part of the Bowl TV community. Emil, you mentioned Mallory Nutting. Inside the number to start this game at plus 101, but 2 opens, no strikes yet, 91 through 6 frames. She's up in the 7th over on 13 and 14. Lindsey Boomershine, who was the number coming in, strike 3 spares in a row double. Jelmar with back-to-back opens. So we've seen this number go up, 199. Potentially will not be enough.
Sorry. Good.
Oh, Kelly Kulik up to 7 in a row.
Indeed. To say that would be certainly on the disappointing side, obviously for Mallory, considering the great start that she had this morning.
Stephanie Zavala, folks, 25 and 26. Business picking up. 3 spares followed by 3 in a row.
So we've got Yurdigets about to make someone unhappy. Kelly in a what's the right way to say it? Continuing to be in her zone. Right now, Kelly is in mood.
Did you just say Kelly is a mood?
Kelly is a mood.
I like that. Back-to-back splits and opens for Shannon Pluhowski on 11 and 12 through 5. Alexis Nair can shoot another 279. The youngster having herself quite a day. Here's Birgit, 8th frame. Up the hill. Mix him up.
Birgit coming back each shot. She's kind of standing on one of the pillars here at the bowling center. Resting against that. One shot at a time.
Considering the pace of some of the players ahead of her, I think Birgit has done what she's needed to do here in the final game. I think I'm going to make the switch to Guess it's time for 23 and 24.
Yeah, let's do that, and we can also check out. Well, we can't technically, but we'll. But Stephanie Zavala is on camera too, by the way, folks. She's on PWBA too. If you want to see if she can make a run, and she's giving it all she's got. But we'll get a chance to watch Kelly.
Zavala now with 4 in a row. That's 260 still out there for the front runner for PWBA Rookie of the Year. Danielle has slowed down a little bit this game. What's she at? 443, so Keefe was 51 back. Shannon can shoot 250s this game. Danielle can get to 2-0, so O'Keefe may challenge for the lead here.
It's wild how they always end up competing for the same spot.
It's because they're both really, 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 really good. Mallory Nutting, 3 in a row to get to the 10th frame. Ashley Galante finishes at plus 66, so unfortunately she went the wrong direction there. Liz Culkin gets to plus 168, does finish with 255 that game. Gluchowski got a strike in frame 6, up in the 7th. Maria Jose Rodriguez putting up a big game. I feel she was... plus 127, so she's going to be moving into the plus 170 range, plus 160 range. Here comes Kelly, folks. We're in business, front 9. Let's go, Emil Williams Jr.
Boy, this is just heated up, isn't it? Kelly, Shannon, obviously Danielle.
And then Kelly's at plus 360. If she maxes out this game, she's at plus 460. Shannon would not be able to catch her, so the potential to strike out to take the lead after 12 games here at the PWBA Albany Open up for grabs for Kelly Kulik. You know, just doing Hall of Fame things, that's all. Just doing Kelly Kulik things. Shannon is up in the 10th frame. She can still shoot 259. Danielle's max this game, 180. Mallory Nutting can still get to 211. She is up in her 10th frame on 13 and 14. Some trouble for Lindsay Boomershine in the 8th. She had a split and an open frame. Came back with a strike in the 9th. She can get to 212. She was the number heading into this. Mallory Nutting does not get the first hit in the 10th. So her max now 189. Kelly Kulik, folks. First shot, 10th frame.
Whew.
Just so good.
But what we like to say sometimes is Kelly is in her bag tonight. Everything working. Again, the 265, 269, 279. A couple of 2-0 games in there, and now looking to end on what could be the best note you can end on.
Birgit got the first strike in the 10th. Did not get the second hit, though. She's going to be in the 270s, though. She's going to be easily in to the number. Big game from Summer Jasmine. Here we go. Let's make it 11. Kelly Kulik.
10 back. 10 back, Kelly.
Zavala can still shoot 240 this game.
He's going to probably sneak in there as well.
Mallory Nutting finishes at plus 88. Shannon Pluhowski open in the 8th frame. She can max out at 186 this game. She's already got the lead, folks. Kelly Kulik stepping up. Looking for the first 300 game PWBA Albany Open. What you got, Kelly?
Bang!
Kelly Kulik connects 300 to get to plus 460 to take the lead.
Wow, what a block.
We have some trouble for Zavala in the 10th. Big of 4. Gets 2. She's at plus 81. So Mallory Nutting still ahead of Zavala.
And we have seen several blocks so far this year, Aaron, where 1,500 for 6 has been normal. Happened in Cleveland a few times. Kelly Kulik has just done it. That is troublesome for Stephanie. But Bill Birgit is in. Where was did you mention Angelimar?
I did not. I knew she could max out at 199 that game. Let's see if she got there. That was... She's at plus 56. Zavala at plus 81. Lindsay Boomershine finishes at plus 92, so she jumps ahead of Mallory Nutting. Pluhowski drops to plus 57. Gigi just made things really interesting. She's at plus 87. She shot 170 that game. Amanda Najokas at plus 120, so she should be good.
And Mallory was at plus 86, you said?
Plus 88.
88, excuse me.
So Boomershine goes ahead of her, but Gigi drops. So Mallory, I'm thinking Mallory should be safe. Pluhowski drops out. Birgit jumps in. And it might drop all the way down to plus 87 here.
That would be tough for Gigi 2 weeks in a row to miss the number in the last game of qualifying.
Lindsay Boomershine threw the last 4 after the open in frame 8 to get to plus 92. Shannon O'Keefe did get ahead of Danielle McEwen. Plus 427 to plus 422. Kelly Kulik at plus 460. Stephanie Johnson plus 361. Liz Johnson plus 337. I'm thinking that big 4 might be the difference here for Zavala making the top 32.
All right, athletes, that concludes round 2 of the PWBA Albany Open. Athletes, please add up those score sheets, sign them, turn them into the front counter. We'll get those scores verified and announce who will advance to our top 32 for round 3 tomorrow. So just hold tight. We'll get those scores verified and again announce who will advance to tomorrow's round 3.
Kelly Kulik averaged 253.83 that block. Woo. With a 206 and a 204 in there.
I mean, you can't ask for a better block, obviously. Now looking ahead to not only get the top 12, we're talking about top 4.
There was definitely some separation made between the top 3. So we will stick around to see that cut number upcoming here. But Emil, I think we're ready for a special guest to join us here, fresh off a 300 game here at the PWBA Albany Open, takes the overall lead. Let's welcome in Kelly Kulik to the show. Kelly, what a show for us here on Bowl TV to wrap things up.
Oh, thanks, Aaron. Yeah, I've heard a lot of women had a few strikes in a row, 9 in a row, and I was happy that I could give the audience a final 300 game for the day. So that was great.
Kelly, that was one heck of a block right there. You bowled great in the opening block, but you went 320 plus over in those final 6 games. Averaging 250 out here on the tour is pretty tough to do at any time. Just talk about the rhythm you were able to get into to put up a number like that.
Aaron, honestly, Stephanie, I watched her this morning and I hit her pairs, I think, tonight. So I had a lot of good carry go my way. The approaches are slick here. They're wood approaches. And I went back to my 4-step approach just to kind of keep my feet underneath me more. And that's really helped with my swing and my rhythm. And anytime you have a short pattern, you're not going to have hold. You're always going to have miss to the gutter. So I just use it to my advantage. And really, it was going through my arsenal of bowling balls. They all were going to get to the pocket. It was which was going to carry the best for me. So I really had a great game plan with Steve and the rest of our ball reps with the Storm and Roto Group staff. And I just saw the picture all the way through.
Was anything too different from what you saw this morning as opposed to obviously tonight? Of course, the scores certainly reflect that, but how much of a difference was it between the two rounds and what you saw?
Tonight, they were similar. I didn't have to get my feet quite far as left and get my angle as steep through the front. In order to create that hold, you have to have those steep angles. And I was able to stay, for me, with my rotation and rev rate, to stay a little bit more in front of me than have to go more left to right. So I really just tried to control the pocket. When the ball got to the end of the pattern, let it roll forward and be smooth. I was great surface adjustments in the beginning, and then I would just tweak my hand. I would start up the back of it to be smooth from front to back, and then when my hand could go around a little bit, that's when things happen for me.
Kelly, we're going to pause for 1 second as Tennille makes the announcement.
No worries, gentlemen.
In the 12th position, Kara Mangiola at plus 238.
So Kara Mangiola in 12 plus 238.
And your 32nd and final qualifier at plus 87, Jasmine Mason.
DG Mason does hold on to the final spot, plus 87 of the number. So got a little scary there. She shot 170 in the final game, but able to hang on, and she will be advancing to tomorrow's competition. Kelly, you talked a little bit about the progression, and obviously you got some tricks as well to manipulate the roll a little bit. Talk a little bit about the arsenal choices, though, throughout the course of the block today.
Yeah, I started off with the pitch purple urethane ball. Again, 500 service on it when they're really fresh like that. The first game is my key. If I can get through it with the 190 to 210, that's a good pace for me because I have to allow the lane to come to me on the short pattern. It didn't look good after a few frames, went right to a 2-inch pin electrify. So a very high RG ball, not much, but again, strong aggressive service on it. And then I was able to use that for 3.5 games. When I made the turn, had to go through a couple ball choices, and it's a slower response bowling balls. And what I mean by that is pins further away from my positive axis point below the fingers. I went to a Hustle Ink. It was a little too slow. I went up to an Ordnance C4, and that was the ball I shot 300 with. So, I stayed in the medium progression of the bowling balls. Low end was the Electrify and the urethane, but then really just kind of came about a step and a half up. Nothing even stronger than that.
Kelly, you always have a lot of fans rooting for you. There was no different tonight in the Bowl TV chat, and those who were able to come out tonight to Kingpin's Alley here. Why is your performance and performing in front of crowds and the fans and Bowl TV so important to you in that regard?
It's been a long time waiting to have the fans and spectators be a part of the atmosphere and the energy level in the building itself. And it was great to have them in the building to have that energy. I think they've seen me grow up. It's a older group here tonight, as well as some of the youngsters, but they've seen me progress from when the tour existed back in the early 2000s and then having my run on the men's tour. So I really feel I have great support here. Even though I'm New Jersey, I'm not that close, 3-hour drive away. I'm considered maybe a local person and everything. I hear a lot of them rooting for Liz Culkin along the way as well. I've done the gamut. The Hall of Famers, myself and Liz, we still are proof that age is just a number, and we still have got the skill and ability to be out here and win more titles.
Well, Kelly, we will let you go now, but thank you again for joining us here on Bowl TV. As always, thank you for putting on a show for us. Most of all, it was so fun to watch that game come together, especially the finishing it off with 3 great shots in the 10th. So congratulations on a great day, and we look forward to seeing you on the lanes tomorrow at the Albany Open.
Thank you, gentlemen. Hope to be interviewing with you with the tournament title under my name again. So see you tomorrow night.
Yeah, you won't be sitting here tomorrow, that's for sure.
I hope not, Emil. I want to get home late, but for other reasons.
Thanks, Kelly.
You're welcome.
All right, everybody. Kelly Kulik joining us here. Emil was alluding to the fact that Kelly did say she would join us for the broadcast if she didn't make the top 4. But so far, it's looking like Kelly has a little bit different plans than sitting next to you there, Emil.
Yeah, I'm happy. She shouldn't be sitting next to me. I hope to be alone like last week when I was just producing the show. You know, like we said earlier, right? That, Kelly said, hey, whenever I'm going to do the show, and then she makes the stepladder final, she's well on her way to doing that again. It was very nostalgic, I think, in the building, Aaron, watching the fans root Kelly on. And we all know she draws a crowd everywhere that she goes. And she mentioned it, she has been through it. Certainly fans remember her from various points of her career, the PWBA, the PBA, record-breaking performances, history-making performances. And it's hard not to root for Kelly. She's worked hard, been through some struggles, obviously. She's talked about it. So tomorrow, especially in the morning, obviously, it's another 6 games. It's another block. But, she's in a position to certainly be, obviously, in the talks with taking the lead. But you cannot forget, obviously, about what Danielle has done today, what Shannon O'Keefe has done today as well. Stephanie Johnson, obviously, Liz Johnson as well. And then you can get into some of the rookies and the younger players with Brianna Clemmer, Lauren Pate, and the list goes on and on. So what a night. What a night for PWBA bowling.
And folks, we got one. We got 300 on
It
Bowl
happened.
TV. Let's
We do have
go.
one. Yes.
We
So
did
three
Well,
more
we didn't do
tomorrow.
it, but we got to watch one. So that's that was great to see. And of course, Kelly.
The cloud over? Is it over now or what?
Huh?
The black cloud? Is it done?
The cloud is everlasting.
Okay.
But unfortunately, we got one this week, so we're trending in the right direction. Scoring pace is picking up a little bit. We're seeing some strikes out there. It's fun. It's been awesome. And tomorrow we heard, Tennille made the announcement. 12th place, Cara Mangiola in the plus 200 range. Kelly and a few of these other players are already well into the 300 to the 400 range. So that first round is going to be interesting to see. We saw it last week with a couple players being able to separate themselves from the rest of the field. Obviously, much different scoring pace. Are they going to be able to do that once again tomorrow, or are we going to have the scoring pace kind of come back to them and have a few folks get into the mix and make a push at this top 4? But first, we got to get through that top 32, get down to the top 12. 10 a.m. Eastern, the time, back here on Bowl TV on this 36-foot pattern that's been super fun to watch. I've seen the players get right, flirt with disaster with the gutter. We saw a couple of them fall in, but it did result in a lot of strikes. So the risk certainly worth the reward with this week's pattern.
Aaron, I think tomorrow morning, the round of 32, the fresh might be the most important part of the day. If things don't go well for certain players tomorrow in the morning, it could be a different story, and we could see some flip-flop and some movement in that top 10. We say top 4 certainly, but that top 10 for sure as we head into the top 12. So, I really believe that the fresh will be arguably the most important 2 to 3 games. A lot can happen still, and but now, every week, right, the field gets smaller. Generally speaking, the players, all have the same idea, so to speak, on lane closures tomorrow.
Oh,
that's important. That's an important announcement, actually, on exit 15 and 16, I think on Interstate 87.
Oh,
so if players are playing or staying in those particular areas, that's important. But nonetheless, first 3 games tomorrow, very important. Top 32, smaller fields. The players all have an idea of what they're doing, and so the lanes may not change or transition as differently as they have, of course, during qualifying, because there's a lot of players out there doing some different things. But I don't really think we had that this week, because the pattern suggested where you almost had to play. And if you weren't playing there, generally speaking, you weren't scoring well. So we know what to somewhat expect with a few minor changes, maybe some more urethane tomorrow, who knows, but looking forward to it.
Absolutely. And folks, if you want to watch those first 3 games, 10 a.m. Eastern time, Saturday, tomorrow, bright and early right here on bowltv.com. 6 more games to determine the top 12. Then at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, the top 12 will take to the lane. 6 more games to determine the top 4 for the step ladder finals tonight or tomorrow night. 6 p.m. Eastern time for that. Dave Lamont, CDB, and potentially Kelly Kulick on the show one way or the other, looking like it's more going to be on the bowling side with her phenomenal performance today. But folks, we're going to go ahead and sign off for competition for today and sign off on Bowl TV. It's been a fun day. It's been super fun seeing the players attack this pattern, seeing the strikes up there. Let's go. We love gutter patterns. So, of course, as always, a big thank you to the USBC and the BPAA and their board of directors for their continued support of the PWBA Tour. Kegel, the official lane maintenance provider. Oh, there he goes again. He's getting ready. Getting ready. I don't know what for, but he's getting ready. Kegel, the official lane maintenance provider this week and always on the PWBA Tour. Of course, the competitors this week. What a show. It's been super fun to watch. They've been just phenomenal. Kelly just averaged 253. So, I mean, that's all you got to say right there. But it's been phenomenal to watch it come together. And, of course, for you folks, the Bowl TV audience, we always have a good time in the chat interacting. We're always very thankful for the opportunity to work with you and bring you this type of programming. So it's just phenomenal. So thank you for your continued support of Bowl TV and the PWBA Tour. For our staff at Kingpin's Alley, Doug and his whole crew, tip of the cap to everything that they do, not just this week, but for the sport. Phenomenal group out there. For our on-site staff, we got Tennille, we got Kathy, we got Caitlin, we got Cecil as well. And of course, the Bowl TV staff as we wrap up, Curtis Von Kruger, Emil Williams Jr., I'm Aaron Smith. Folks, thank you for joining us here at the PWBA Albany Open. Once again, we'll be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern for the round of 32. We're looking forward to it right here on Bowl TV. So everybody have a great night. And remember, on Bowl TV, bowling lives here. We'll see you soon, folks.